and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be studying Ghibli, and I decided to just use some different items from different Ghibli movies and try and sketch them and paint them with these paint markers. And the challenge was that I have never really studied like a person's work like this before, so I wanted to give that a try. Obviously I was going to pick Ghibli because that's my most favorite movies and favorite, just like the art is so beautiful, so I wanted to give it a shot, but I was a little intimidated by like a scenery, so I thought I would do some items and characters that I love from Ghibli movies. So it took a long time to sketch all of these items out because I've never, like I said, really done something like this before. I've only ever tried to sketch something that was in real life, not somebody else's drawing. And so that was pretty challenging, but I actually had a lot of fun doing it. It did take a long time to do all of these, and I just kind of worked away at it over a couple of nights. And then I started to paint. And another challenge that I had with it was to match the colors that I saw in the original paintings, and I had to match it with my acrylic paint markers, which obviously I can't mix colors too much. So it was, yeah, actually not too bad. I was able to get, I think, with enough accuracy, but I did have to mess around a little bit with some of them. This fish in particular, for some reason, because I only had like a certain amount of blues and I really wanted it to look just like the one I had seen. And I'm not going to tell you which item goes with which movie because I thought you could guess at the end of the video. I've numbered all of the items and you can tell me in the comments which ones go with which and test your knowledge of Ghibli, because I think some of them are pretty obvious, such as this item, for example, is probably pretty obvious which movie it comes from if you're a fan, and some of them are not as obvious or like lesser known. I think I tried to make it, not the hardest thing ever, but I just wanted it to be like kind of fun. The reason why I love Ghibli movies so much, and I think a lot of people can probably relate to this, is not just because of the beautiful animation and the hand painted backgrounds and the amazing stories. It's because of the strong female leads that are often featured in the films. It's just like all different ages of women were represented and girls in these movies, all different ages, all different social classes, and I just really like the perspective was perfect and like deep, and it really helped me, I think, growing up as a girl and made me feel good. And I think I'm just really happy to have been able to enjoy these movies when I was like the ages of all of the people in them, and just really resonated with me as a child and growing up into, and I still watch them now, and I'm like really just in love with these movies. They're so nice, and also the atmosphere of of the movies, like Spirited Away, for example, or Kiki's Delivery Service, are just like you feel like you're in there. It just takes you completely away. I think a lot of people have used the word escapism when they talk about Ghibli movies because it really does do something to your brain where you completely go away. It's very, very calming as well. And I just love them. Can't say enough good things about them. 10 out of 10, no notes. And you should tell me what your favorite Ghibli movie is as well. I think mine is probably Spirited Away. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to decide because each one of them has like a different reason why I like them. I really like Princess Mononoke as well. I don't know. Hard to choose. But I think the first one I ever saw was Spirited Away, I'm pretty sure, or Castle in the Sky, but I'm pretty sure it was Spirited Away. And I really liked how there was so many different like creatures and different spirits, and that really, I had never seen anything like that before as a kid, and I was so jazzed by it. So I would probably say that that one has a special place for me. Oh, and Howl's Moving Castle is up there too. I really, really liked Howl's Moving Castle. Anyways, I'm doing this little clock here, and I just wanted to mention quickly, I figured out how to blend these two colors in the image. It's definitely really blended, so I was like, how am I going to do that? So I took the darker blue and the lighter blue, and here's my wet little brush pen, wet with water, and I just I layered the markers pretty thick so that they would still be wet, and then quickly took this brush pen and went over the whole thing and kind of just mixed the colors as much as I could. They mixed quite well. And then I took an even lighter blue in the corner there and mixed it again. Just kind of went back and forth until it was nice and blended, and you can see it did a pretty good job. So that's what I would recommend if you're picky like me and you're looking to really try to blend something smoothly, but you only have the acrylic paint markers and you're not using paint. trying to challenge myself with this little study of Ghibli. I unfortunately wasn't able to include like all of the items that I wanted or like a piece from every movie because I think I would need a much bigger paper for that. But I tried to, just do some whatever kind of items I thought were gonna aesthetically fit onto the page and so that it would make a nice layout. And I was just trying to like have a good time because I don't usually do stuff like this, but I thought it might be time to start trying to practice from other things besides real life. It's also good to study from masters, and this is what I picked as the first thing I was going to study from. And I think it was super helpful for me to do this. It was not only like fun and relaxing, but it was also really good for me to pick the colors, see how they were placed, and really consider how these illustrations were made. And some of them are quite simple, like there's only two colors and one character, but you really get the feeling of the entire image from just those two colors. So it shows you don't always need it to be super complicated, and sometimes I think I struggle with that. So it's definitely good practice to do this for sure. The thing I struggled with most probably was doing the line art on top with my Micron pen, which is like, it's called PN, the tip. So it's not like a felt tip, it's a different type of tip. And it would just catch sometimes on some of the paint because the paint markers leave a little bit of a texture. So I was really picky about wanting the lines to be perfect. And sometimes that was hard to do with just the type of pen that I had. It might have been easier with more of like a small tip Micron pen, like the classic, like I think it's 0.5 or something like that would have probably been better. So that was the only part that was sort of unnecessarily challenging, where it wasn't really helping me. I was just having difficulty with a tool. So I never really like when that's happening. I get kind of frustrated, but what are you going to do? I think I was also kind of nervous to get the lines right because that is like a huge part of the Ghibli animation. And so I knew there was a lot of pressure on that. So I was definitely feeling nervous like every time I did the line art for these. Once I was finished with the last item, I decided I wanted to fill in the gaps of the page a little bit and just add a little something extra. So I threw in these little guys, everybody's favorite little guys, and they're little sprinkly stars as well. I just wanted to put something else throughout, something really little, and I think it was a really nice addition at the end there. So I'm really happy with that decision. So here are the finished items and all the numbers so that you can tell me what movie you think goes with which item. And I really enjoyed doing this spread and the practice that it gave me and what I got out of it. And thank you so much for watching, and you'll see me next week. Okay, bye.